Hey guys, welcome back to Memo Makes. This time we got an XM or Sirius XM aftermarket radio going into a 2020 Ford F150. These are those little aftermarket deals that they sell in electronics stores. You can buy them online also. To add Sirius XM radio to a non-Sirius XM radio vehicle. You know, as if your car didn't come with the option, well, you can add it on with one of these devices. They're not terribly expensive, and then you just buy whatever subscription level you want. It's kind of a basic install. We're going to do a few more little knick-knack added features to it just on the install level, just to clean it up a bit. I don't like the fact that they power up through the charge port like your cell phone would, because then you don't have that port available. So I customize it a little bit so the install is a little bit nicer. I hope you like it, and we'll see you at the end. This is our car today, project vehicle, ONYX EZR. Alright guys, this is our car today, or our project vehicle, 2020 F150 XLT. This one's straight from the dealership. We're adding XM to it, Sirius XM or Sirius XM, and this will be a straightforward install. You see it's straight from the dealership. See the sticker there, and you can see she's brand new up in here. And we're going to do a basic install that we do where the XM just goes up here. We're going to hide the antenna right behind that plastic trim, and it allows for communication between the XM and the satellites. So we'll bring you along. This is what we got. This is the ONYX EZR radio. This is the control unit. Here we got the cradle where it mounts into it, inserts into there, it docks in there. This is the mounting plate which we're going to use. We're going to modify it slightly. Here's the antenna which receives the signal, and this is the power connector. We don't connect them to the cigarette lighter. What we do is we put an adapter on here, and this converts from 12 volts to 5 volts, so we can't do without it. We can't just hardwire it to 12 volts like on the car, and we'll show you when we do that how we wire it up. Alright guys, standard apology for the fan noise. First we're going to take off this plastic, rubber plastic mat, 2 7mm screws that go right here, the ONYX impact sockets. You don't need impact sockets to do this, but they are versatile enough to where you can use them for just about anything. Unless there's an absolute need for a thin wall, we can do just about everything with these impact sockets anyway. Alright, so once you've got those screws off, this comes up and just snaps up. There and that. Now these are clips that are designed to come out like that. This connector here is in case the vehicle had a center speaker, which this doesn't. Okay, so now we've got clearance here to where we can run wiring down through to where we're going to get our power from. We're going to get ground from right up here. There's a good ground point here, and we're going to get power from the power source. We're going to test to see if maybe we can use one of the accessories like this one, or if it's constant, we need key 12 volts. That means it's only on when the key is on. So that's what we need for it. We're going to look for that. Alright guys, so we've got to take out this under dash piece. Now this just pulls out, so it seems like it's breaking, but it's not. You just grab it firmly. Let me set you up on the tripod. Alright, so you just grab it firmly, put your hand under it, reach under again. Now this folds down. You can unscrew this with some 10mm bolts, undo this wiring so that it's not snagged up. If we need to, we probably won't need to. We just need to access the wiring that's under here. So we're going to remove these with some 10mm nuts. No, they're 10mm bolts. Alright, let's change the setting here. On the M12. Full beams. See why it was on there so tight? It has Loctite. Out comes this metal piece here. Now we can access the wiring. Now you see these little connections. That means somebody's been here before. So we'll try to do our best to avoid their wiring and test and locate our own power sources. Alright guys, so here we've got a purple and green wire that our diagram told us has accessory 12 volts. Now we are going to test it. For now I'm just going to show you the test. I'm not going to explain to you about this tap testing device here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that right now there is no voltage. Here's my power probe showing no voltage. Now once we turn the key to the accessory position, so that's accessory there. Now we've got 12 volts. Turn the key off. No voltage again. So this is the wire that we are going to tap into, and that's going to be our power source, and we're going to find our ground up here on this clean metal surface. We're going to ground there. We're going to put pretty much all of our equipment up here, and then just from down there we're going to get the wiring, the power for the wiring of the unit. Alright, so what this is going to do for us is it's going to allow us to hook this up in here, and we are going to be able to grab 12 volts and ground to power this converter. This converts our 12 volts DC to 5 volts DC that goes into the unit. So we will hook this up to where we don't need the cigarette lighter adapter, and we don't need to waste one of the sockets in the truck, and it's not unsightly, and we'll just hide this piece all together, and these connections will be hardwired into ground and accessory power. So we've got us a 6-foot length of wire. And it's crimped on there. Always test your crimps. We will again look for the striped one, which was our positive, and double check that our negative is the opposite. We're also going to put a ring terminal on this ground wire here. Test your crimp. Okay, so this is the cavity where we're going to hide the electronic connection for the converter. The antenna is going to go on this base here. You see it there. We're going to tie it up there, secure it. We're going to ground right here to this clean metal surface. In fact, we will try to go on this nut here to where we can get a factory hardware on it. And the converter for the 5 volts will be here. The actual XM unit will be here, and we're going to guide the power wire down through there. I'm fast forwarding here because this part is just tucking the wiring for the antenna and zip tying it in place. Same thing for the power converter. Just locating the converter onto a factory wiring harness so that it will stay in place, not make noise or anything like that. And we're also bundling up the slacks of wire that are going to be left, and we're making sure those are going to stay nice and tucked down or strapped down. So we'll go back to regular speed here when there's something else to see. Alright guys, what I'm about to do here may get me some grief, but this is an unorthodox method which I've been using for a very long time. I've been doing this kind of thing for 29 years. So this taping of the two connections is just to keep them together so that they don't vibrate loose, since they're going to be hidden inside the dashboard. Now, like I said, because of the amount of experience I have, I can guarantee you that this is absolutely acceptable, absolutely okay to do. This will not cause you a problem. I know this is black tape, but the purpose for which we are using it for, it is perfectly fine to use. Alright guys, so here's a shot, a shaky shot. We're grounded right there on that terminal. There you go. That terminal there, that grounds us. This is the converter that I secured to the wiring here, some factory wiring holding it in place. This is the antenna bundle. We got the access there. There's the antenna mounted there. And these are the two connectors. We've got some slack on them so that we can move the piece here about when we make our connection. And this is the power wire that we're going to take to that wire that we're tapping down below the steering column there. And so we're grounded up there. We are getting key power from down here, and that's all we need. Antenna signal comes from that antenna receiver, and I'll bring it back when we've got something else. Alright guys, so we're screwing this base onto here using the factory screws. So now it's time to see how we mount this bad boy up. I went ahead and I removed the fasteners from here so that it just sits in here. So this we're going to bolt or screw into here so that this piece mounts on there permanently, and then the customer can fiddle with it and whatnot. So that's more or less how she's going to look. What we do is, we adjust this to where the customer can still touch all the controls, but give us as much mounting rigidity. So the customer should be able to access all these controls. So what we're going to do is we're going to outline with a wax pencil where this is going to go, and rather than tape, we're going to screw that to the piece. So I'm going to set that up where I can see that it's nice and level, and I can make sure that I touch all these bottom buttons. And we're going to mark it up with this wax pencil. We take this off, install the base on it. So this is how we mounted it on here. See the screws there. These are some just self-tapping screws there. Now we're going to clean this up, and we're going to go ahead and remove all this, and we're going to tape it and still screw it. Alright guys, so here I'm going to put some double-sided tape on the front of the docking station for the XM module. The reason for this is it'll help better secure the unit. It'll give it some stability. You'll see me clean it with some prepping solution so that this double-sided tape can be on there permanently. And believe me, this double M stuff, it's good stuff. Once it's on, if you apply it correctly, once on, it is hard to take off. There are even body panels on cars that are double-side taped. I guess they're not called body panels, they're called trim panels. All your emblems on your car, they're stuck on there with this kind of material. So it is more than sufficient to hold it in place. Now you'll see me put it on here, but you won't see me peel the red, not off the front panel. I'll do that a little bit later, and I'll show you that when it comes time to do it. I'll show you why this is important a little bit later. That's how we got it set up. Gonna drill a hole here for the connections for the power and the antenna to go through. Alright guys, so now we have to customize this little mat here. What we're going to do is we're going to make some slits on it this way. Then we're going to cut a circle here about the size of this. So we'll take a few reference points, like for example I'll mark that this is right about here centered, and then we'll use the front to left distance to signify that this is the center of it. So then we will use this and this, and then we'll cut the circle around it. Now that we've got it in place, we'll take a little bit more attention to each little thing and modify it just a little bit to make that fit a little bit better. So there it is, guys. Just hope you can see it. Obviously this is a view you would get, you know, you'd never see that, but it's still good enough for government work. And that's the nature of custom stuff, you just have to make it fit. So this is where that little red tab you see there comes into play.
Now once I've got the display where I want it, I'm going to peel away the red liner, and what that does is it allows the double-sided tape to stick to the front of that pocket that we've mounted our piece onto. So once I got it just where I want it, I pull it towards myself, and that allows it to stick to the dash piece there. From this camera angle, it may look wrong, but that piece is curved, so as you're sitting in the front seat, it looks nice and level. These are the retainer clips that allow that piece there to snap into place. I removed them so that we would be able to check fitment, you know, put it on, take it off, put it on, take it off again. So that's why I removed those little clips. Now once everything is settled and I know everything's going to be right where I need it, I put those clips back in so we can secure it in the factory way, and then we put the scrunt under that little mat. And that's what Memo's doing right there. He's going to put in those 7mm screws. The piece should be all set in place.
Alright guys, so under the dash here, this is our connection. It's T-tapped in there. Some people don't believe in T-taps. I'll have a video on that some other time. This slack will just get zip tied here to this factory loom there. And then we'll secure this back up. See if I can set you to see it. There you see how it's factory location. There you go. Everything's back to normal. See it there? The wiring goes up in there. You don't get any wiring see-throughs. We'll just leave this little film on here for the customer to remove. Show you that when we turn the key on, it powers up. For everybody that was paying attention, we forgot this piece. Alright guys, so now we got to set her up. So what we're going to do is on the factory radio, we're going to go to audio. So this is the radio. We will go here to the menu, and then we'll go to FM settings, enter FM channels, and we will go to, this is on 97.9, we will go to 89 point something. What we'll do is we'll make sure that we go to somewhere on the stereo that isn't a station. This will depend on where you're at, because if there's a station on the particular setting that you want, it's not going to work for you. So here we'll go to 87.9.
No, this won't go to 87.9. We'll go to 80. Okay, so we'll go 88.1. 88.1 on the stereo. Press.
Okay. So that's it. So that's the setting there. So we will set it there. We will go out of menu. Back. And there it is. So now the customer has to call in and subscribe, and what we'll do here is we will record this and leave it as a preset, so that way, you know, they can just go to that station there. And that's it, guys. You see it's a clean install there. You see that we didn't have to route the antenna out to the roof. Now if we had antenna issues, or if we have them in the future, the antenna may need to be rerouted out to the outer part of the car, but these are so efficient that that's not necessary. I mean, you see us parked under a tree and it's still a signal, so really there's no need for it. So long as you are in clear view of the sky, well, the antenna is in clear view of the sky, the antenna should work fine. So there it is, guys. That's another shot of the unit installed. I'll just step out, and like magic, we changed the color on the truck. Now, so sometimes we get like a few of these trucks together. So the one you saw the install on was a gray one, and then we got these other two. But I will make you go through all of them. Alright guys, so that's it. I hope you liked it. I hope you got something out of it. These are pretty straightforward installs on these kind of units, but like I said, we take a little bit of extra time, a little bit of extra effort to make it come out a little bit more professional, a little bit more clean. So that's just the way I like doing things. I like to put forth just a little bit of extra effort, and it really shows in the end. Just a little bit of effort goes a long way. So like I said, stick with us for our other videos. Come back, watch some of the other stuff we've got coming down the line. We've got some more suspension stuff. We've got some more tool reviews. We've got some more gadget reviews. And like I said, stick with us. Share, like, subscribe.